Hi guys, I am Umaima Said from Around the Wicket, where we not only speak about the game of cricket but we also talk about the humans involved in the game. On International Women's Day, we have with us Anuja, who has been working as a sports physiotherapist for almost 11 years. And last year, Anuja also became the first ever female physio in the IPL when she worked with the Rajasthan Royals. And interestingly, she also spearheaded the COVID administration team. Hi Anuja, we are really happy to have you with us on Around the Wicket. For starters, please share with us about all the assignments you have undertaken so far as a sports physio and how it all started for you.
Hello everyone. Thanks to Maima and team Around the Wicket for inviting me here to share my journey. My name is Anuja. I'm a physiotherapist by profession who specializes in sports. Cricket has been my major sport. It's been 11 years so far. I started my work in 2009 with Mumbai Cricket Association. Soon went on to work with National Cricket Academy in 2010. From then till 2017, I did several assignments with NCA BCCI. Bangladesh happened in 2018, and it was certainly a unique opportunity. There were so many learnings in that 1 year. It will always be a special assignment for me. The last major assignment was Rajasthan Royals for IPL 2020. Well, that's my cricket journey in a nutshell. Apart from cricket, I do work closely with other sports, especially badminton, and I have also worked with Pro Kabaddi for medical management. Apart from sports assignments, I take care of a successful practice. It's called Live Active Physiotherapy. We are based out of Mumbai, and we see musculoskeletal cases in all age groups, from kids to older population, and we also take care of lots of recreational athletes and elite sports clients. 2017, I started a small company called Physio Concepts. It was in a hope to spread quality education among physiotherapists in India, and yes, we can say that we have fairly achieved that goal. So yeah, that's about me. That's about the work that I do in field of physiotherapy, clinical and education.
Have you been inclined towards sports physiotherapy from a very small age?
So as far as my memory goes, I always wanted to be a doctor, do something related to medical field. I still remember my kid's doctor set, and back then I wanted to be an ortho. But then I soon realized that I have this tremendous hidden love for sports. Unfortunately, as a child, I could not play much sports, but I used to watch everything. Like, I used to be literally glued to TV. Formula One, cricket, football, tennis were my favorite sports. I used to collect photographs of my favorite sports stars. I was updated with all the records as a child and teenager. It was not surprising when I chose physiotherapy, because I knew about sports physiotherapy when I was in my early college days. And that's when, this whole love for sports has started. In my first year as a physio student, I realized that I was naturally attracted towards what we call as musculoskeletal physiotherapy, which forms a base of your sports physiotherapy. I used to bunk all my other postings and spend extra hours doing orthopedic work and the musculoskeletal OPD in physio departments. So yes, I had decided that I would like to take up sports physiotherapy in early days, and that's the decision I will never regret in my life. I have thoroughly enjoyed my career so far.
And you also spearheaded the COVID force for the Rajasthan Royals, right? So, as the head of the entire force, what exactly were your responsibilities?
So working with IPL, was never planned, or it wasn't in the pipeline as such. It happened by chance. I got a call from the CEO of Rajasthan Royals, amidst COVID and the extra work that came along for every franchise towards COVID safety. And they wanted me to come on board and join the medical team, join the COVID Taskforce that was specially created for this very purpose. And I must admit it was really challenging. As I said previously, I have worked with medical management for Pro Kabaddi, for the league, and for IPL in 2014, that was with the Angie group. But working with one franchise was really different, and IPL is a different stage altogether. It's very demanding. And also we must understand that during those initial months of this pandemic, there were a lot of uncertainties and anxieties, not just with me, with people around me, and that made the work a bit more challenging, I would say. There were too many doubts regarding the whole big list of rules and regulations that we received from BCCI, because everything was evolving at a very fast pace. Things would change overnight, decisions would change overnight, and you have to accommodate and keep moving on with your work. But it was almost, it was all necessary. It was almost necessary for the collective success of the league, which eventually you could see on TV that at the end IPL was such an enormous success, and it was the first major league. If we see in India, it was the first major success in sports. So I feel really fortunate to be a part of that whole adventure, called IPL 2020, that happened in COVID-19 pandemic.
It is actually incredible how the IPL happened so smoothly, and I am sure that it must have required some solid planning.
So lots of thoughts and work went into COVID management for IPL 2020, and we are not talking about the work done in Dubai. Well before we flew to Dubai, the work had already started. Testing took place in individual cities for players. Everybody flew down to Mumbai, where another round of testing was done. Previously also a couple of rounds were done. And then in Mumbai there was a phase 1 of quarantine. We all flew to Dubai in a chartered plane. After landing there was a phase 2 quarantine, and post that regular activities, cricketing activities started, fitness activities started. Throughout this phase, the pre and the IPL phase, lots of planning went into COVID management. So lots of protocols internally were made and were also, obviously forwarded from the central body regarding fitness activities, pool activities, the ground activities. So the work of the COVID task force was to make sure that all the protocols were followed strictly.
As a physio, how is it different to work with both male and female players? Is the fitness routine for both male and female players similar?
As I previously mentioned, IPL is a different stage altogether. It's very demanding. It's quite intense, and there is no surprise that yes, fitness regime or the intensity of the game between male and female athletes definitely has some gap, which we all can work towards to reduce. I feel before comparing male and female cricketers, one must understand the incentives that's offered for a male versus female cricketer are drastically different. The opportunities, the kind of environment, both of them are receiving, both the groups are receiving, is very different. So I don't think it's fair to compare male and female cricket. currently there is a huge gap between you know both the groups, and it all comes down to the efforts and to the motivation at the administrative level to reduce this gap.
So, on an administrative level, what are a few things you think can be implemented to further promote female cricket?
I'm sure lots of work has been done to promote female cricket in India, but I feel a lot more can be done. Especially my experience with badminton has been tremendous in this regard when it comes to gender equality or when it comes to promoting females in sports. I mean, the fact that badminton has two of the most iconic players in the history of Indian sports. Uh, I think the environment there is quite different. But saying so, uh, the overall situation is quite different there. They also have a mixed event. Females and male players play together. So that was a very satisfying and very pleasant thing that I've observed in badminton. And I can only wish if cricket can start mixed events, especially at lower school grade levels, like let's say under 12 or under 14 tournament, where male and boys and girls can play together. I think that can be very motivating to reduce the gender difference, and also to promote cricket among girls. If you look at a typical household, we are a crazy cricket loving country. So every household would have, the males especially, they love watching cricket. And you imagine a scenario if their daughters start taking interest in cricket or they start playing cricket. Imagine the kind of conversations that would happen in families. There would be a great bonding between families over cricket. And also when you travel outside, when you go outside on vacation. So it so happened that during COVID, we all could not take longer travels or international travels, and then you end up going to smaller places around Mumbai. And for me, that was Alibag. I went there quite frequently. And every time you go to a beach or in the surrounding of homestays, you see families playing cricket together and females participating, younger females as well as the elderly ones. And it was a very nice sight. It was really beautiful to watch everybody coming together to play the sport. So I feel we must encourage female cricket, especially in Indian sports scenario. I think that will help us tremendously to build this whole gender inequality gap, not just in sports, but in our communities, in our society. So I'm a huge supporter of female cricket.
You yourself have been in the field for almost 11 years, right? So, have you ever faced any gender inequality?
Well, as such, I haven't faced any kind of gender bias or gender inequality in my field so far. I mean, to think of it, when you are in a medical profession, your talent and your skills and your knowledge is valued much more than what gender you are. Um, so I guess that's what followed with me in sports field as well. Although I have worked majorly with women's teams, I do see a lot of individual male athletes at the clinic, and I do see a lot of elite male athletes as well. I'm responsible for their overall management, and I'm in constant touch with them. We're communicating all the time, and there is no awkwardness. There is no such thought that I'm a female working with a male athlete. As far as IPL was considered, uh, again, it was a similar situation. I did not feel any kind of awkwardness from players while I was maneuvering inside the dressing room, or when I was on the ground. It was a very professional environment. I feel as long as one understands their professional boundaries, and you're thoroughly professional, the way you carry yourself, in your attire, in your mannerism, I don't consider there should be a limitation. Gender should be a limitation while working in sports. Again, I would like to go back to the example of badminton. I've seen several female coaches working with male players. And I hope one day that can be possible in field of cricket as well. Not just considering a female physio working with a male team, but I hope there would be, in future, female coaches or female trainers would find opportunities to work in the mainstream cricket, male cricket. But saying so, such kind of change would not happen overnight. It would need a lot of efforts from all the stakeholders, and especially from the administrators. Is what my honest belief is. Players are really good. They are all professional. I did not have, as I said, a moment of awkwardness, and we had a very good professional relationship. Whatever brief work I did with players, as far as physio was considered.
And if you had to advise something to all the young girls out there who want to take up sports physiotherapy, what would you advise them?
So I always get this question that, Anuja, what do you want to tell to young females who are out there who want to work at the international stage, aspire to become part of the mainstream sports or male sports? Well, I feel we all have to now go beyond this idea of gender bias and gender inequality. I'm someone who strongly believes in the idea of gender neutral. We have to accept each other as humans. We have to respect each other for the talents and the skills that we carry, for the emotional quotient that we carry, and we should not generalize, and we should not demarcate male and female professionals. I think we live in a sophisticated modern world, and we have to accept each other as humans. There should not be any limitation for a female who aspires to do better in any given profession, not just about sports physiotherapy, or let's say strength and conditioning or coaching. It can be any given profession. If you aspire to become a better professional, I'm sure you'll find ways to do brilliantly well in your work. But one thing, as a feminist, I must stress here that as a female, you should not expect special treatment. There are a lot of occasions where I encounter this kind of emotion that people, especially females, they would like to get treated as equal to a male, and then carry this notion or support this notion of gender equality, but then somewhere they also expect a special treatment. So I did not take much pride in calling myself first female physio working in IPL. For me, it was another assignment, sports assignment, demanding and intense sports assignment. I wasn't thinking myself, going out there, that I'm a female physio working in male sport. As I said, it was just another assignment for me, and all I knew is I had to do my best, because it was the highest stage and it was the most demanding stage I had ever encountered. So those were my thoughts. So as a feminist, I would love females to embrace this idea that to have this true gender equality, we should never expect any kind of special treatment from males. And I think that will take you far ahead, because you're just going to focus, as any other human being, may it be male or a female, we are just going to focus on the skills, on our talents, on our passion, and get better, with every coming day. Get better at your work and do the best possible for you.
Okay, Anuja, thanks a lot for speaking to us. It was great to know so much about sports physiotherapy, and all the very best for all your future endeavors.